this.
All right. Hello. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late there trying to untangle headphones, which didn't end up working, but that's all good. Hey, Sally, how are you? So we're talking about how to have your cake and eat it too. And what exactly do I mean by that? So we are, hang on, just let someone's wanting the link. So we are talking about that so many women are exhausted and feel like they've just given up on having it all, and so starting to sacrifice parts of their life. Well, I can't have this as well as that because it's too. I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, I don't have the capability. I've got too much to do running around for other people. But actually, for a lot of women, hey Paula, for a lot of women, we're actually just leaking energy. We're leaking energy, and so that's why we really feel like there's just not enough to go around. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today is where are you leaking your energy so that you can start observing that part of your life. And it's the first step for women to regain the energy that they need in their life, to be recreating your life to what you want it to be. And I just see so many women are exhausted, and so many women are struggling to have it all or have their cake and eat it too, because we're already depleted and we've got energy leaks and energy blocks, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. So let's get started. So this is being recorded, so you can listen to it later. If you've joined in a little late, you can catch up on that shortly. So I'm just going to grab, where's it gone? Here we go. So how to have your cake and eat it too is about firstly, the absolute first step for everybody is regaining your energy. So you need to get rid of the depletion, get rid of whatever's exhausting you, and start to rebuild yourself. Okay? Start to rebuild yourself. And you probably already know some places that you're leaking energy, or the aspects of your life that are exhausting you. So what aspects of your life are draining you? What aspects of your life are exhausting you? So I have made a list of 12 things that are where women are leaking their energy, and it'll be available as a download for you at the end. So the first thing is that you don't know exactly what it is that you want. And it's easy to get to that place after you've had kids, because once you're in baby mode and then to kid mode, it's easy to get dragged along by life, and there's not really a lot of time to stop and check in on what it is that you want. And so many people dragging, hey Kirsty, so many people just feel dragged along by life at that stage. I'm just muting everybody, although I think, are you unmuting yourself at the same time? There we go. So if you don't know exactly what it is that you want, then you could be all over the place, or you could be putting your energy into something that really doesn't energize you back. Okay, so you're doing something that doesn't really energize you back, whether it's a job, whether it's the way you do stuff, whether it's the rhythm of your day, whether it's feeling obliged to be at family outings when actually you need to rest, or actually there's other things in your life. So not enough things in your life are giving back to you at least what you're putting out, if not a lot more. Okay, so you don't know exactly what it is that you want. And we can't know exactly what it is that we want when we're cluttered and we're carrying old, heavy energy around, and it's tiring. So when you're carrying a whole old, heavy energy around, what you're doing is you've got a whole heap of energy locked up in trauma, in emotion, in the story, in whatever that you're holding, or you've swept under the carpet, or you've chucked over in that back corner because you don't have time to deal with it. So that is, and it comes up a lot in energy healing, like dragging around a bag of rocks. You know, and the analogy that I love is, you know, when you've got little kids, your handbag is so heavy and you just get used to it and you carry it around. If you actually stop and empty it out, all those rocks and sticks and cars and other shit in there you really don't need, but it's tiring. It's like, oh, that's better. It's lighter. Yeah, so we're carrying around stories, emotions, identities, roles, all sorts of stuff, and a lot from our birth, and a lot from what is profoundly unique about being a woman, because everything's in respect to men. And so, you know, we're not really having this discussion as much as we should have. And, you know, that's what I'm about. I want you to be able to have this discussion, and that's what's going to make the Women's Leadership Symposium, you know, different to other women's leadership conferences. This is about really acknowledging all of this stuff as a collective, so that we can unlock our energy, and you'll be so energized. You won't be tired. You'll be energized by your lifestyle. It's going to lift you up. You'll be lifted up by the people around you, and not dragging around the shit that you haven't actually had time to stop and see, you know what, I don't want that anymore. I don't need that anymore. It's not serving me. It's not aligned with who I want to be now, as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, as a friend, whatever it is. Okay, so a lot of women are carrying around old, heavy shit that is tiring. And when you do put it down, you don't realize how exhausting it is and how much energy it's using until you put it down. And I see that with anxiety. A lot of women don't realize how anxious they are, and how exhausting they are, and how frazzled they are, and how indecisive it makes them, until they put that down, or they let that settle. So the third thing is you're unable to network and make new friends effectively because there's not really enough women-friendly opportunities. Everyone that works with me knows I like to have a cup of tea and a cake with nearly everything, which was part of the inside joke around have your cake and eat it too, is that most things that I do come with cake and tea. So there's not enough. I'm not talking just child friendly. I'm talking woman friendly, where you can actually acknowledge what's going on in your life, acknowledge that you've got a 2-week period, acknowledge that you've had a miscarriage, acknowledge that your relationship is exhausting, whatever it is. So when I talk about women-friendly networking, I'm talking about opportunities where you can be authentically you can be transparent. And through that transparency, our discussions and conversations that we have are going to be real and help us on a real level to lift each other up and let go of that which is heavy and not aligned. And again, the Women's Leadership Symposium is about that authenticity and that transparency, that we are whole as women. We don't want to put part of ourselves aside any longer, because that part of yourself that you're putting aside in order to show up in a certain way that is not whole is leaking energy. It's exhausting. And if it's exhausting and leaking energy, then you're not fully aligned and you don't have that full propeller effect. You're not being propelled forward, naturally having that natural forward momentum flow, which we're all looking for. So that inability to be transparent and express yourself, I'm not talking about dwelling on your past and dwelling on your problems, but being able to have that as part of the conversation is really important in lifting women up into a new level of leadership within ourselves and leadership within society, and reclaiming matriarchal leadership, reclaiming and remembering who we really are, because women are powerful leaders within themselves, within their family, their community, and then moving out into bigger organizations, which may or may not be a business, your own business as an entrepreneur or a business owner, or into, your corporate job. So the fourth reason women are leaking energy is the pelvic floor. And there's a real belief out there that the pelvic floor problems are part of getting older. And they really don't have to be. They're an industrialization problem. They come from industrialization. It's something that's evolved with being on our feet all day, feeling a lack of community, feeling unsupported and not having that tribe and feeling isolated. The nuclear family, which anyone that's already worked with me knows I call that a failed experiment for women. And needing to really bring that back together, that support and feeling like a valued contributor to your tribe or your community or your family is the energy of the pelvic floor. So the weak pelvic floor is not only an energy leak, it's literally like a hole in your bucket. It is also isolating, inhibiting. You can't run and jump and be who you want to be. And actually in another Facebook group, there was a massive discussion of everyone talking about how much they needed to go to the toilet and they thought it was normal. And I'm like, nah, that is inhibiting us from moving forward in our life and really stepping out and owning who we want to be and being that for our families, role modeling that for our kids, and stepping out into, again, into leadership roles in society. If we've got a 2-week period, or we're feeling like we can't be as active because of our pelvic floor, we need to keep close to a toilet, for crying out loud, all of these things are inhibiting our freedom of movement and our feeling of freedom and feeling of wholeness. Which we need that, because that is going to be the wind beneath your wings, and that is going to lift you up and propel you forward. So number 5 is that you are distracted by other people's problems. Other people's problems are not your problem. Other people's problems are not your problem. And when you're distracted by other people's problems, you're not getting on, and it moves you out of alignment with yourself. You are again leaking energy. It's like leaking energy out the side. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to help people, but not by sacrificing your own presence with yourself. So not by sacrificing your own presence with yourself. The more present you are with yourself and in the present moment and true to your calling and your passion and your purpose and following that, then you will be really connected to other people and be able to help the right people at the right time. But if you're distracted by other people's problems, you are leaking energy out the side. Okay, so number 6 is you try to be nice to everyone. We've all been brought up to be nice girls, and therefore not saying no, not speaking up, swallowing words. In fact, Angela Zhu, who is third generation Chinese medicine, who's talking at the symposium about premenopause health for women, says that the menopause symptoms of especially the hot flushes is all the words that we've swallowed and the anger that we've swallowed coming out. So all the times you've shut up and not said what you wanted to say through your life by being nice to people, keeping the peace. So it's not that you want to go around picking fights with everybody, but being true to yourself with your voice and your articulation of yourself and your expression of yourself is really important. And a lot of clients, when I first start working with them, one of the first things they start doing is start saying no to things, because they realize they're exhausted. They realize they're leaking energy. They realize it's actually making them and their family unhappy, moving away from what they want to be creating in their life, and actually doing the other people a disservice as well. So the nice girl, she's got to go. All right. So number 7, you try to be everything to everyone. Taking on too many roles and labels, and they become like indigestion. Energy work, it comes up like indigestion, like just feeling stuck in that third chakra. Okay, you can't be everything to everyone all the time. You need to drop the roles so that your own energy can reveal itself. That's where your power is. That's where you're going to be the most effective for you and for everybody else. Okay, so taking on too many roles, labels, identities, and letting them layer and layer upon themselves, it's just like indigestion or constipation, depending on how long you've been doing that for. Either way, we don't want that either, because it's stuck energy. And again, the energy is not available to you. So again, you feel tired and sluggish. Number 8 is feeling guilty when you stop and take a break, and feel like when we're not doing that, we're not worthy and we're not being a valued contributor. Okay, so feeling guilty from stopping and taking a break. Feeling like in that moment you're not worthy, especially when you might not be working and earning as much money as you normally do. Somehow we feel like we've got to overdo in every other aspect to make up for that. That is not true. Our value is so much more to that, and rediscovering that value and a lot of appreciation and gratitude and kindness for you helps with this one. All right, so are you resonating with these things? Just pop a 1 in the comment if you're resonating with these things so far, because there's still more to come. There's still more to come, and you can just see why women are so fucking exhausted, having to feel like they have to work overtime and juggling to get anywhere, because we're actually just leaking so much energy to start with. All right. So number 9, your identity is subject to what you do for others. So that's leading on from the one that I just said about feeling guilty about taking a break, is that your identity is subject to what you do for others. Okay, so many women I meet are the doers. They are the netball coach. They are the, running around after everyone. They're picking the one that does everything. The one who, whatever your label is that you've allowed yourself to be given. You may feel like other people have given it to you, but you've actually allowed yourself to be given that. When you are the one who does whatever, and that's a label, and because you hold that, your decisions are made from that. Again, it's a leak out the side. Okay, it means that you're often choosing to do things because of that identity and that label, rather than what is right for you in that moment, and therefore right for others, and from a place of exhausting and depleting yourself, rather than from an energy that lifts you up. You want to be getting energy back from what you do. You want to feel energized by your family. You want to feel energized by your friends. You want to feel energized by your vocation or your career and everything else. Everything. All right. So number 10, looking after you seems like another job that you don't have time for. That's the me time. And if you've listened to any of my other stuff, you hear me rant on about me time. If me time is the only self-care you've got, it's never going to cut it. It is not enough, because you're putting out energy in order to try and create some. Yeah, so a lot of people go to me time and find that they go to yoga even, or they go to have their nails done or have their hair done, go out with friends. As soon as they walk in the house, they're back to feeling exhausted and same old, same old. So you're actually compartmentalizing your life like that, which means you're polarizing yourself out of the present moment, which is always going to be tiring. Okay, so again, it's an energy leak because your self-care feels like a job rather than a way of being and a lifestyle. So your self-care is about holding the state of being that you want, of being happy, of being connected, of feeling joy, of having fun with your family. So number 11, we're getting there. You are trying to be independent, but you feel isolated. So Sasha, who is my awesome event manager and everything else to me, who's sitting around the corner there, we were just talking about this, that being independent, we've been brought up as women to be independent, but often that just feels really isolating. And independence is lonely. And again, you don't have that energy of the pack. You don't have that energy of the wind beneath your wings, of the slipstream to help pull you along. Birds don't fly on their own. They go in a pack. They go in, and as they fly in a flock, they move around from front to back. So some are doing the work and some are being, pulled along by the others. It's the wind beneath your wings, and you need that tribe. You need that like-minded community who are on the same level as you and on the same page of you to help lift you up. And again, the symposium is about getting everyone from online, which I adore, but there's nothing like getting together in a group and really getting to know people and meeting people. And there's a real excitement brewing with all my groups online that have been working together to actually be face-to-face together and get that extra lift that comes with that. So number 12 is you thought motherhood was going to be fun, and actually it fucking sucks. So if you thought motherhood was going to be fun and it sucks, it's actually go back to C points 1 to 11. All right. So you've got too many energy leaks, too many energy blocks. And so no matter what you do, it's exhausting. And we need to remove these plug the energy leaks, remove the energy blocks, and unleash all of this energy for ourselves. If you've got a hole in your bucket, doesn't matter what you put in there, it's still going to flow out. Or if you've got a block, half of the energy that you're putting is just overflowing and spilling out. And that's what we need to turn this around to the opposite way of being. Sally, love point 12. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you thought motherhood was going to be fun, but it fucking sucks. C points 1 to 11. All those reasons. And there's probably some more, but these are the typical reasons that I see. So if you're feeling some of these, you're certainly not alone. Like, so many women are feeling like this. As a collective, this is how women are generally feeling. But you can turn it around, and you can reverse it, so to speak, so that you are filling yourself up all the time. So what's the 4 steps to changing your life around? All right. The first step is not to do more, it's to do less. It's to take a step back, to unwind and tangle your thoughts and your life. Okay, to unwind and untangle your thoughts and your life. You've got to Marie Kondo your life, your mind, your emotions, your inner world and your outer world, which is the energy work, which is starting to slow down and be mindful of the choices that you're making. The next step is to allow space for you, so you can remember who you are and what you love. What makes your heart sing? What is your deepest desire? What do you want more than anything else in your life? You're not going to come up with that answer while you're cluttered with all the labels, all the jobs, all the to-dos, all the being everything for everyone. So that's taking that break, the unwinding, the untangling, and then allowing that space, which is actually quite hard because we generally tend to fill that space back up as quick as we can. because it feels eerie or like you're free falling. So to actually allow yourself to sit in that space of nothing, of a clean slate, of a blank canvas, and then step 3, decide what is it that you want in your life. You can have everything and you can have anything, but you don't want everything and you don't want just anything. So what is it that you want from your life? And again, there is no point asking yourself this question if you've still cluttered in your inner world and your outer world, and you're busy being busy and you're running around like a headless chicken. Okay, because your true self isn't going to be able to have space for you to hear it. So deciding what it is that you want to in your life, letting that be birthed out of the space. You've got to remember who you are, and so many women say they've forgotten who they are. They've forgotten what color they like. They don't know who they are. And there comes a point after having kids often that you really feel like that. So number 4 in changing your life around is creating routines, rhythms, and rituals that hold this space for you and your aspirations. So once you know what you want, is actually creating a lifestyle that supports that feeds that. At the moment, your lifestyle might very well be depleting that and moving away from what you want, rather than your routine and your lifestyle, your rhythms, your rituals. And I'm talking about your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions, that which you do, that which you don't do, the actions that you take, the actions that you choose not to take, the words you say, the words you choose not to say, that these are all in alignment with what it is that you want to be creating in your life. Okay, so step 1 is unwind and untangle your thoughts in your life. Step 2, allow space for you so you can remember who you are and what you love. 3, decide what it is that you want to be creating in your life. Let that be birthed out of the space, not out of the clutter. Out of the clutter, you're going to get what you don't want, not what you do want. And 4 is to create the routines, rhythms, and rituals that hold that space for you and for your aspirations. Okay, so so many people feel cluttered in their life and they don't even have time too many balls in the air. They don't have time to even put them down to work out what they want to do next. And this is what the Thrive program is. The Thrive program, whether you come to the group at Castle Hill or privately or on the online group, that is about moving you through this process. Moving you through this process. And then the Women's Leadership Symposium is going to be about really coming together as a group to lift each other up and to do the work required to move you through each of these stages and to push out into the world what it is that you want to be creating, whether it's your business or how you want to, you want more adventure, you want more happiness, you want more joy, you want more money, whatever you want success to be. What is your definition of success? Freedom, space, fun. They're all the same foundational feelings and experiences that are shared that we're all wanting to create. And by coming together, we can do that collectively. So what is the number 1 success key? I actually had trouble with this to come up with one. And I'm going to be posting a lot more stuff around this over the next couple of weeks. But I think the number 1 success key is allowing that space for yourself to move towards your passion and your purpose, and just to keep moving towards that and letting the other stuff fall away and letting everything else fall into place. As you allow that space for yourself to listen to yourself, your passion and your purpose, and keep moving towards that and trusting that stuff that's not aligned with that will fall away and that which is will fall into place. And with that, we need support. There's so many distractions in the world with advertising and family and everyone else stuck in dramas and over cluttering our life, that we need to come together with people who can guide us through that. We need our tribe, that are on the same page. We need our mentors, our role models. We need to learn from each other. We don't want to need to reinvent the wheel. But there's a lot of women exhausted. There's a lot of women burning the candle at both ends. There's a lot of women giving up. And there's a lot of women wondering what the hell they're doing all this for. Okay? But there is another way. That is the good news. There is another way, and it's about connecting with your deep feminine, not ignoring it. Because when you connect with that deep feminine, with your whole self as a woman, and all the profound experiences that we have that are unique to us, you actually unlock a whole heap of energy, a whole different way of being that is powerful and lifts you up and gives you that forward momentum to move forward. And this is what I refer to as leadership of the self, leadership of your family. And so many women I work with in the Thrive program go, I get it. Motherhood's a leadership role. Yes, it is. And I haven't got the quote right next to me, so I might not have it quite right, but there's that beautiful quote. If you inspire others to dream more, be more, become more, and do more, you are a leader. And if that's not motherhood, I don't know what is. Okay, so it is a leadership role, and we want to come into leadership of ourselves so that we're propelled forward by what we do. We're energized by what we do. We get back just as much as we put in, rather than being depleted. And really, this is the whole premise of my mission of my business as Empowering Motherhood, and the underlying energy that is the thread through my programs, but also the Women's Leadership Symposium, is about teaching you how to do this, supporting each other to do this, so we can all lift up and really be valued contributors to ourselves, our family, our community. And as you move that out, whether, however big you want to go, whether it's you as the local netball coach, or if it's you running your own business, small or large, or if it's you in your career or your vocation. All right, so I am going to send out the notes from this. And thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited. We're getting excited. We're getting really excited about the symposium, really excited about everything that's happening over the rest of the year and early next year. So I will put the link in for the tickets. The early bird tickets finish at the end of September. So make sure you grab that. It's a pretty big discount. So it's $400 instead of $700. So you want to get those tickets ASAP. We're going to be having an awesome day in Manly. I've chosen Manly because it's just inspiring. Your lunch will be in a little box if you want to take it out and have a walk on the beach and connect with other people that are there. And really, it's going to be a woman-friendly event so that we can be whole, because that's where our energy is, that's where our power is, and that's where you're going to find the most joy and connection and purpose and passion in your life. And that's what we want to role model to our kids and our community. So there you go. That's it. I've got to sign off from here. If there's any questions, please pop them into the Facebook group. And have an absolutely awesome day. And I will see you very soon. Bye.